Hey everyone, this is George from VoiceThread. This is our Basics 2 workshop where we're going to discuss and work with groups and secure sharing. I'd like to start off just by introducing myself. My name is George. I am the instructional designer and online educator here at VoiceThread. All right, so the first thing I want to make sure we go over a real quick review of how to create a voice thread before we get started with sharing, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So if you joined us last week, this will be a quick review. And if you were not able to join us this week, I'm going to go through pretty quickly because we don't want to spend too much time on what we did last week, but I do want to make sure everyone knows how to create a voice thread. So keep in mind, it is a two-step process. You just need to upload something and then comment on it. And for the purposes of today's workshop, you don't actually even need to comment on it. We just need to have a voice thread presentation that you'll be able to work with for your sharing. So I'll show you one time through, and if you have not created a voice thread in the past, you'll be able to create one quickly right after this. I'll give a couple of minutes and then we'll get started with the focus of today's workshop. So once you're logged into your VoiceThread account to create them, you click on the Create tab, and then you'll just need to upload and comment. So to upload, I'm going to click Add Media. I'm going to go through my computer. You can use any images or documents or videos or whatever you have on your computer. So I'm going to go into my computer and I'm going to go to one of my files. And there I see my PowerPoint. So I'm just going to click on it to upload it. It will begin to process. It will ask me to give it a title. I'll give it the title. I could enter a description and tags if I want to, and I could mess around with the playback options, but for now, I'm just going to keep it simple. I give it a title, and I click Save. All right, so just give a second for it to process. All right, and now step 2, you don't necessarily need to do this for today's workshop, but step 2 would be to click Comment. That will open the voice thread up in the media player. And if it's easier, you can just leave a little text comment, or you can click on the plus sign and choose one of the other commenting methods like audio or webcam. I'll choose audio. All right, you can see now I am recording. I can doodle on the screen using the doodle tool. I can change colors if I need to. All right, when I'm done, I click stop. It will process my comment and play it back for me, and then I can save it. I'll choose audio. All right, so I save it, and you see my 2 comments appear in the conversation channel, one after another. The text comment, and then my audio comment. All right, so the first thing I want to do is go over how to create a group. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate this for you, and I'm going to show you what it's like to join a group. So what I will do is create a group, and then I'm going to get the share link, and I'm going to paste it in the chat once the group has been created, so you can see how you can get a link to share with your students to have them join. Before I get into creating the group, I did want to mention that if you use VoiceThread in a learning management system like Blackboard, groups are automatically created for your class. You get one whole class group created automatically. So what I'm going to show you today is how to manually create groups. If you use VoiceThread in a learning management system and you want to create groups for other purposes, for group work in your class or for collaboration with colleagues, people in your department, things like that, this is the easy way to share voice threads with a number of people at once. Okay, so the first thing to do, and remember, I will show you this a couple of times, so you don't need to follow along step by step. I will show you, and then we'll go through it together in just a little while. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is access my groups panel on the left here. So you may not see yours depending on whether you have it hidden or not. There's a little tab with 2 little chevrons there that you can click on to open, to expand it, or to close it. All right, so if you don't see it, it's probably just tucked away. All right, so you need to open it up, and then all you need to do is click on the plus sign and give the group a name. So I'm going to call this One Group VT. and I'm going to click Create Group. All right, then it's just going to ask me to give a banner image across the top of the group. So I'm going to select one and click OK. All right, so that's all there is to it to create a group. All right, now the next step is to get the share link. So I can copy this link here and you can join the group, or I can add you by going into my contacts list or going into any of my other groups and cherry picking the people that I want to join this group. All right, so there are a number of different ways that you can bring people into your group. You can have them join by clicking the link, or you can manually add them. All right, so for today's workshop, I'm going to get the link and I'm going to share it with you. All right, so let me go through this one more time. All right, so I'm in my groups panel. I click on the plus sign, give it a name, click create group, select a banner image to go across the top of the group, and then click OK. All right, so now I have a second group created, and once again, I can simply copy the link and paste it, or go into my contacts and add people that way. All right, so I'm going to go to this first group here, and now after I've created the group, I can access that screen again anytime I like just by hovering over the group and clicking on that gear icon that lets you manage your members. All right, so you can see who's in the group. So far, it's just me. All right, I can go to the overview where I can get the sign up link. I can change the name. I can create subgroups, and we'll go over this towards the end. All right, and I can add members from my contacts list and my groups if I want to do that here as well. All right, but for now, I'm going to get the copy link. All right, and this is how you can join. I'm going to copy the link, the join link. I copy it. Now I'm going to paste it in that chat. All right, so you can either click on it or copy and paste it into your browser, all right, and then you will be able to join the group as a member. All right, so I see Tammy is asking a question about contacts. No, so you can add contacts. You can select from other groups. If you already have people in your groups, in other groups, you can always add them that way, or you can add them from your contacts, and I'll show you how to do that as well. You can click on the plus sign to add somebody by email and by name, and we will do that in just a little bit. I will have you add me as a contact, so you'll see how that process works. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my VoiceThread with that group. All right, so I'm going to go to the VoiceThreads that are owned by me. All right, and I see the basics 2 VoiceThread that I created. And all I have to do is click and drag it over to my group and drop it in there. All right, now I can decide what type of permissions people have. Do I want people just to be able to view the VoiceThread? Do I want them to view and comment, which is the default setting? Or do I want to upgrade and give them the ability to edit, which means they would be able to see moderated comments, they could delete things, rearrange things, all of that good stuff. For now, I'm just going to keep it at view and comment because that is the default, and I click share. All right, now that voice thread has been added to the group. So on the left-hand side of your homepage, if you click on that one group VT, you should see that Basics 2 voice thread in your group now. Oh, I see someone sees it because we do have a comment on it already. That's great. Simple drag and drop into the group, and then just select the permissions you want people in the group to have. If you don't see it, you may just need to refresh. I do see your question. What's the advantage of sharing with groups? Well, that's how you would share with a number of people. So if you have a class of students, instead of individually sharing the voice thread with each specific student, which would be time consuming, you just add the students to the group, and then anytime you want to share a voice thread with them, you just drag it into the group. All right, and whoever's in the group will also be able to share with that group as well. All right, and Alexandria, yes. So if you use VoiceThread in a learning management system, you do have a whole class group that's automatically created. So what we're showing you today is the manual creation process. So if you wanted to have group work with your students outside of something that the whole class is doing, or for tutoring, or for collaboration with your colleagues, all sorts of different reasons why you may want to manually create groups. Looks like we've had a lot of success. I saw a number of people have commented, which is great. All right, now what I want to do is show you some of the permissions. All right, so I'm going to go to my VoiceThread here, and I'm going to share this one. Larry, I'm going to share this with your group. Don't worry, I will take it out soon. I'm just going to drag this and drop it into your group. All right, so now that's been shared with your group. So if I want to see who my VoiceThread has been shared with, or I want to change who has access to it, I can do that by opening up the sharing menu. So I can hover over my VoiceThread and click on that share arrow, and that will bring me to my sharing tab, all right, where I can see who has access right here. All right, so in my who has access tab, I can see that I obviously have access to this VoiceThread because I created it, but I could also see everybody in this group also has access to it. All right, now they have the ability to view and comment on it. I can downgrade them if I want to just be able to view. I can upgrade everyone in the group so they can also edit. All right, or I can just go back to the default where people can view and comment. All right, now if I wanted to remove access, let's say I created this VoiceThread as an assessment, and now the deadline is up, right? The deadline was 1:30 on Tuesday, right? So all of my students should have completed the activity, and now I'm going to remove it. I could downgrade them to just view if I want, or I can remove it entirely, right? So if I click on the X and then click Save Changes, now nobody in that group will have access to that VoiceThread any longer, all right? And that's done through the Who Has Access tab. All right, now I'm going to share, let me share this one with Abby. All right, so once again, view and comment, I click share. All right, and if I go into the group, you'll see that it has been shared. All right, so from within the group, I can remove the VoiceThread also. I can go to this little minus sign when I hover over that says remove. All right, so any of the VoiceThreads that you added to the group, you will be able to remove. If you're a student or if you're an instructor, you'll be able to remove anything from the group. So I can go up here and just click on remove, and that's that simple. All right, so drag and drop it to get it in there, and then you can either go to your sharing menu in the Who Has Access tab and remove access, or you can go into the group and click on the minus sign to remove access. What's the difference between remove and delete? So remove means that people in that group no longer have access to it. I had dragged it into the group, and now I'm taking it back out of the group. Delete would mean that you delete the VoiceThread. So you no longer have access to it. It no longer exists. All right, so it's just a matter of groups are how you share with people. All right, so it doesn't have any impact on whether the VoiceThread exists or not. It's just a matter of whether or not they have access to it. When you delete a VoiceThread, it is actually deleted and will go into your trash. All right, and the next step we're going to go over is how to delete a group. All right, so the group that you just created, we're going to practice deleting it. So you don't need to delete groups. I tend not to do it with the exception of when I'm demonstrating how to create them. I usually don't keep those kind of demo groups around, but most of the groups that I've created and shared voice threads with, I don't find a reason to delete them. If you find that your groups panel gets too big and unwieldy, and you'd rather clean it up a little bit, you can certainly do that. But I don't often do this, but I just wanted to show you how to do it so you'll be able to do it, okay? So I'm going to go up to this group. Let's say I want to delete this one. I click on the gear icon, and when I go to Overview, you'll see that red delete button in the lower right corner. All right, so I can delete that group just like that. All right, now I can go, let me just go into this for those of you that are still working on the removal process. Once again, remember, I can just go in and click that minus sign and remove that voice thread from that group. All right, and I can also remove Jan's voice thread. Good job dragging and dropping, by the way. All right, and I can remove that one from that group. All right, now to delete the whole group, remember I just click on that gear. I can go to Overview, and then I click Delete. And it will just ask me to confirm. Are you sure you want to delete this group? Yes. All right, now I want to show you how to share with an individual. All right, so for those of you that added me as a contact, you will be able to do this as well. All right, so in addition to sharing with whole groups of people, you can also share one-on-one. So this is frequently used more for people who are not in a learning management system, who want to share something privately with the instructor, or if you are doing tutoring with the student, maybe you just want to share this with the student. So it's a secure, private way to share with just one person, or if you wanted to share with a few people, you could, right, for maybe an asynchronous meeting to replace a regularly scheduled meeting you have with your colleagues or your team. All right, you'll be able to securely share with people one-on-one, or if you want to share with 2 or 3 or 4, that's fine too. All right, so let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go to my VoiceThread, and I'm going to click on the sharing icon. All right, and that's going to bring me to the sharing menu, right? This is where we access the Who Has Access tab. But now I'm on the Secure tab. All right, so I could share with a group here. This is another way to do it besides dragging and dropping. You could go to your group. You could find a group and click on the group and then click Share. All right, so if you want to share with the whole group, or you can share with your contacts. So I'm going to go here and let's see, I'm going to find a contact to share with. All right, so I click on the person's name who I want to share with. It'll highlight their name in blue, and I can click share. If I want to, I can also make sure they are notified by email that I've shared this VoiceThread with them. All right, just in case they don't go to their VoiceThread account too often, and I want to make sure that they are alerted to the fact that I've shared this with them. All right, so I can click share. All right, so once again, I go to my VoiceThread, I open up the sharing menu, I click contacts, I find the person that I want to share with, decide if I want them to be notified by email or not, decide if I want them to be able to edit, just view, or view and comment. By default, it will be set to view and comment. All right, and I can click share, and I'll get that little success message. All right, now we just have a couple of other small points. So I just want to show you once again how to unshare that VoiceThread that you just shared. All right, so it's the same process as unsharing with the group. You can open up your sharing menu, go to the Who Has Access tab, see me listed as a contact there. You can hit the X, and that will unshare the VoiceThread with me. All right, so that's how that process goes. So I can see all the VoiceThreads that were shared with me. All right, and to unshare, remember, you just make sure you're on the VoiceThreads you have access to, that you've created. You open it up, open that sharing menu up, go to Who Has Access, and unshare that VoiceThread. All right, and it's just that simple. Right? Open the sharing menu, go to Who Has Access, X next to the person's name, and click Save Changes. All right, and the last thing we're going to go over is subgroups. So let's say you have a group for your whole class, right? And this is where you share all of your weekly VoiceThreads, your lectures, your discussions, your assessments, whatever it is that you're creating. They all get shared with the whole class group, but now you want to add some subgroups to that whole class group. All right, so what you can see here in this group that I've created, this is a 2015 March and April workshops group, and you can see I have 3 subgroups nested in there, Group A, Group B, and Group C. All right, so let me start by recreating a group that I want. So I'm going to go back and create this. Select my banner image, click OK. All right, now I'm not going to add anyone to this time, but you can see the group has been created here. All right, so let's say I share my voice threads with that group every week. I share the introduction for the lesson. I share our discussion about it. Our students can all share their work, the voice threads they create, any presentations, discussions, things like that. But now we're going to get into some group work, and I want to break the class down. So this is not something you need to do, but I know some people do like to create some subgroups in the course of their semester and break students into groups for group work. So to do that, it's fairly simple. You just click on the gear icon, and that opens up your groups menu. And I go to Overview, and you'll see here, Create Subgroups is one of the buttons. All right, so I can click Create Subgroups, and now I have a few options. How many subgroups would I like to create? Let's say I want to create 3. I can click to make it go up to 3, or I can simply type in a number. If I had 8 groups, something like that, okay? Do I want to allow members of the subgroup to see and share with all of the people in the main group? All right, so typically they would already be in that main group, but let's say you're adding someone to the subgroup who may not be in the main group. You can check that box as well. All right, and do you want to apply custom names? All right, so when I click that, you'll see I can add whatever name I want. So maybe I have the groups color coded. All right, maybe I have the blue group, the gold group, the green group, and the red group. All right, or you can give them whatever names they have, right? Whatever names you've decided to give the group, you can add them in there and then click Create. All right, so now when you look at my group, you can see those 4 subgroups underneath. All right, so this is a feature, like I said, some of you may find value in this, some may not. If you do a lot of group work and you like to break your students up into smaller groups to make it a little more manageable so they don't get confused about which voice threads they should have access to and comment on and things like that, the process is just to click on that gear icon, go to the overview, click Create Subgroups, and then you can decide how you want to design them from here. All right, so before we wrap things up, I just wanted to show you a couple of other quick things. From your homepage and also on the browse page, you can access tutorials. All right, so there's that little 3-bar menu, and you can filter to see the tutorial. So you can learn about commenting on a video, how to create a voice thread, comment, learn a little bit more about sharing, comment moderation, and doodling. And we always recommend showing these to your students and asking them to take a look at them in their VoiceThread accounts as well. We also have the blue help tab here, so if you ever get stuck and you want some written instructions, you can search through our frequently asked questions here, or you can search by keyword. All right, and finally, at the bottom of the page is a little training menu, and if you click on that, you can access our free workshops page. All right, and if you wanted to access any of the archives, they are on the right-hand side of that workshops page. All right, so that is all the time we have for today. I wanted to thank you all for joining us, and I hope you all have a great afternoon or evening or morning wherever you are in the world. And happy voice threading, everyone. Take care.